There's a handful of fascists that I would just throw into outer space. That's what I would do.
Yeah, y'all just saw that for yourselves. See, got the cast of Fantastic Four's first steps just made everything worse for Marvel with one of the most unhinged rants in a press interview from the IMDb that we've seen all year. You see, Fantastic Four was pushed hard as Marvel's next big step. Now, people expected Fantastic Four to reset the next direction, pull in fresh interest, and fix what Marvel broke itself over the last few years. Now, when Fantastic Four opened, well, the response didn't really match what Marvel needed. It was all mixed and stuff. And now Marvel is left watching the numbers while Fantastic Four struggles now to prove that it wasn't just another throwaway. You see, there is no excitement around the outcome itself. You see, Fantastic Four opened lower than Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania and stuff. Now, that movie was declared a failure and stuff. It finished with $460 million globally. Well, actually, I take that back. I'm not even sure if it's finished under Quantumania. But if Fantastic Four tracks the same pattern, then Marvel just repeated the same mistake. The headlines will say that otherwise, and they'll spin the number as a win. But a weak opening matched with, bad international turnout doesn't really create box office legs. You see, Fantastic Four needed a spark. It didn't get it. It showed up, got a shrug from audiences, and now the focus has shifted to the next weekend. All right. Now, week 2 matters more than week 1, of course, in situations like this. You see, Fantastic Four can't afford to drop by 60%. It's currently projected to fall between 55% and 60%, and that kind of drop kills the momentum. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 held with 48% drop, and that helped it get to $800 million. Fantastic Four will make that kind of money if it drops harder than Superman, okay? Now, Marvel has burned up too much goodwill and stuff, and honestly, people don't trust the name like they used to. You see, this is not automatic. You see, Fantastic Four doesn't get the benefit of the doubt. Now, there's nothing else opening that should actually compete with the only new release is Naked Gun reboot, and that's not major competition right now. You see, Fantastic Four should easily win the weekend, but winning by default doesn't really say anything. Now, if Fantastic Four only makes $45 to $52 million in its second weekend, then it's not catching fire. Now, that kind of number isn't really horrible, but it's not strong. Now, Marvel needed a 48% drop to convince people the movie had staying power. Now, if the drop stays around 60%, then this movie just holds its place and it disappears, okay? Now, Marvel really doesn't have room for these mid-tier results anymore. Fantastic Four was supposed to show that the studio learned something. You see, instead, it's the same pattern. A lot of promotion, a lot of press coverage, and a product that fades after the first few days. Now, the audience doesn't stick around. You see, Fantastic Four needed to get people talking. It needed to leave an impression, and it had to lead viewers directly into Avengers Doomsday. Didn't seem like it really did that, but there's no real conversation happening. You see, people saw it, rated it average, and just simply moved on. Now, there's also the Pedro Pascal problem, and also the with another cast member during the press interview for Fantastic Four, his co-star made a political joke. He said he'd throw fascists into space if he had his character's powers. Pedro Pascal gave him a high five, and that's the moment that got shared online. The word fascist gets thrown around loosely in Hollywood, and of all places got shared on X by Culture Crave. And everyone knows what it means in this context. It means it's referring to the president himself. Now, he didn't say the president's name. He just wanted the audience to fill in the blank, basically. That kind of stuff doesn't help Marvel right now, and it's not really a good look for them either. Now, Fantastic Four can't carry controversy. The movie doesn't have the support system, and Marvel already burned fans with the Marvels as well, and even Quantumania. Now, people are watching with skepticism, and when Pedro Pascal backs up a cheap political jab, or even his co-star like that, it reinforces the belief that Marvel is still stuck in activist mode. Now, Fantastic Four didn't need politics, it just needed engagement. And Marvel let the actor do whatever he wanted on the press tour. Again, now the studio never learns, and now Fantastic Four has another unnecessary distraction. You see, Pedro Pascal, well, the co-star, has a pattern where he leans political during these press events. He makes smug comments, then walks away from the blowback. Back this time, we see Pedro Pascal agreeing with them, and Marvel gives him space to act like a late night comedian instead of a leading man. You see, this hurts the movies, and Fantastic Four is not a guaranteed hit. It needed focus and discipline, and Marvel got the opposite. They got headlines about political comments and stuff instead of box office heat. And they gave, the audience another reason to go ahead and check out. You see, this keeps happening often and often. The audience is done giving Marvel extra chances. Fantastic Four had to win them back, and it didn't. Reviews weren't glowing. Word of mouth is mid or mild. Some people liked it, some people don't. I mean, that's not enough to go ahead and keep it in theaters for long. You see, Marvel needs to rebuild trust, and Fantastic Four was the first step. That step landed soft. The movie came and went like a placeholder with no buzz, no cliffhanger, no urgency, just another Marvel release that hopes the next one fixes everything. Now, I haven't seen Fantastic Four yet. I can't really rate it. I'm just talking about the numbers and stuff with the finances and the profits and stuff. That's it. It's better. Apparently, it's better structured than Superman, according to some people. But they're saying it's slower, more grounded. It takes time, but it also lacks energy. Superman, which I saw, felt like a disaster, but it did have tempo. Fantastic Four has pacing, and then it doesn't have power. That's the trade-off. Kids will probably enjoy Superman more because it's chaotic and fast. But then again, I don't think they will really care about either one of these two movies. I think they're still stuck with Minecraft. But people are saying that Fantastic Four feels like a movie and Superman feels like a roller coaster. But neither, to me, I mean, I don't think both of them are great and stuff. But Fantastic Four, they're saying it's felt more intentional. Now, none of that matters if people don't go see it. But box office performance isn't about reviews, it's about momentum, okay? So Fantastic Four started soft and is not building steam. The second weekend drop, as you all know, will tell the whole story. Marvel executives are probably hoping for a miracle at this point where a 40% drop would be a gift and stuff. A 60% drop would confirm everything people suspected. Now that the audience just doesn't care anymore. Fantastic Four had one job, get people excited for Avengers Doomsday. It didn't finish that particular job. All right. Now, Fantastic Four is just another reminder that Marvel's playbook is broken. Same mistakes, same outcomes. Pedro Pascal gets political, media runs cover, box office stalls. Marvel repeats the cycle. Fantastic Four wasn't immune into it at all. It walked into the same trap and it got the same result. The numbers don't lie, and people are watching, but quite frankly, they're not coming back. Fantastic Four needed repeat business, and it's not getting it. And Marvel can't keep pretending that the formula still works. Otherwise, this insanity is going to punch them in the face. Now, if the next few Marvel movies keep following this path, then there's no future for the brand. Avengers Doomsday is already in trouble. The cost is massive. The expectation is unrealistic. And Fantastic Four was supposed to smooth the landing and stuff. Well, it didn't do that. It underperformed and brought baggage. Now, Marvel executives should be asking why this keeps happening. Okay, of course they won't. They'll simply blame the fans again. They'll say the audience had just simply moved on. Okay, they won't look at Pedro Pascal. They won't even look at the creative choices that they've made either. Now, Fantastic Four marks the beginning of the final phase for this version of Marvel. If it doesn't recover, the rest won't either. Now, there's no patience left and there's no brand loyalty either. The audience moved on a while ago. You see, Marvel refused to follow. Now, Fantastic Four has to carry the weight of decisions that it didn't make. Now, it tried to hold the line and it couldn't. The second weekend will prove that, and Marvel will find itself in the same position, simply scrambling to figure out what actually went wrong after ignoring all the signs. Okay, so basically, Marvel needed Fantastic Four to hit, and it didn't. The box office is soft, the buzz is low, the drop is projected, the politics are back, and the audience is tuning out. Pedro Pascal is still doing interviews, of course, and Marvel is still pretending everything's fine. And Fantastic Four is already fading from the conversation itself. So let me know your thoughts about this in comments below. Be sure to smash that like button, share the video far across social media, subscribe to the channel, turn on that bell for future uploads, notifications, and I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, peace.